Hello, this is insanelinn and welcome to my video. This is my November bullet journal setup, and I started with removing my pens from the pouch. These are the pens from the previous months I used, and you can see I used the black one for the header and the dark pink one for the rest of it. For this month I will be using two pens again. One of them would be an ink pen. It's from the brand Jinhao, and I use Archer and Olive Calligraph, and also the ink in my ink pen is also from Archer and Olive. I believe it was from the advent calendar. And I'm briefly looking at the stamp set I got also from Archer and Olive, and I decided that I would prefer to add washi and the calendar before stamping something in so I can see the layout better. So I'm taking a washi tape and I'm adding, small squares for the calendar. I'm doing a cycle setup, so it's not exactly from the 1st November to the last day of the November. The 1st and the 2nd of November is in my previous cycle, which had 5 weeks, because it just made more sense for me, both visually and planning wise. And I start my cycle on Mondays, so that one would be easy for me. And for the general theme, I was thinking a lot of the theme I'm going to use, but I landed on purple. Like, no specific theme, just color purple. It's my favorite color, and we are approaching my favorite time of year, which is the season of my husband's and my birthdays. And I have two trips at that period, and although the second trip will land on the next cycle, the feeling of the travels and plans and parties is still here, so I do want to have fun with. After that, I went into stamping, and please don't hate that part of the clip because I'm really bad at stamping, and I tried my best to do it well, but I kind of forgot almost all the rules of stamping. So these are brand new stamps. I've never used them before, and I haven't prepped them. I didn't rub them or clean them or something like this. I just straight went with putting everything on a block, and unfortunately it did not lead to a good result. So these stamps are again from Archer and Olive, and the ink I will be using in the first part with the November tag is also from Archer and Olive. Now, I had good experience both with their stamp sets and with their ink. Their old ink is a little bit slow to dry, so I knew that, but I still went with it and I messed up. So this is a user error. I've heard that their new ink pads are better, like faster drying and stuff, and don't smudge as much. I haven't tried them, but anyway, not bashing on the product here, just bashing on my own poor skills. After that, I decided to grab another stamp set I have, and I believe it's from Temu, but I'm not completely sure. And I used Temu ink, and yes, while it worked better because I remembered to rub it on my hand and stuff like this. Still, it wasn't so good that I really enjoyed that. And at that moment, I decided I'm not going to put a lot of stamps in my setup as I thought before. But still, I looked at that November stamp and thought, well, maybe we can find an aesthetic in it being withered and kinda old and kinda not spooky looking, but maybe like antique looking or something like this. But I'm not sure if that would work for me. You will see later, but unfortunately, it wasn't a result. I went in with some stickers and I smudged the November part. So I thought about, smudging it even more. So I did that. And, the idea of wabi-sabi or doing something not perfectly usually sits right with me. So I thought that this would be a good course of action. And I added a couple of quotes, and I also have that book I've also purchased on Temu. It's from a famous Chinese publisher who is doing a lot of cheap stickers and stuff like this, but I forgot that. I thought about adding a sticker on the top, but as a result, I decided to add only one sticker to the second part of the book, to the right hand side. And I went with a sea with some boats because I'm traveling to Istanbul and I'm planning to stand at the bank of the Bosphorus Strait to look at the sea, to feel a little bit of, white emigre feeling. I then took a look at the page overall and had a small inner meltdown because I realized I hated that November writing there. So I decided to get my washi tape out again and I just covered that part altogether. And because that washi is somewhat transparent, the November letters are seen from that washi, but it feels almost like an idea of letters. It's just a hint, just a shadow, and I surprisingly enjoyed that a lot. After that, I still added the November writing on the top. I don't know why, it just felt like it. And then I added some abbreviations to the things I prefer to track and to see if I do them. I'm not always good with keeping with these type of trackers on my calendar page, but I figure out that I did have enough uses of it to still keep it. The second page of my monthly spread is used for some things I would like to keep more attention on. And although I'm not always great with doing that, I'm still adding the spread again, but I'm changing some things. First of all, I'm not adding the media consumed place because, first of all, I really hope to get a reading or / media journal separately in November. And secondly, honestly, I just forget about it. So in order for me to fill it out, I would have to go back to my reading history and fill this out. So instead, I decided to put more place for the memories part because I try to be better at keeping some memories, and I don't want to have like a just a bullet point of a memory, but maybe a couple of lines about it. And I'm also adding place for my wins and issues for that month. And that part is usually quite easy for me. I do feel it. Usually I get a lot more wins than issues, but I decided to give it a little bit of place and to be more thoughtful about things I'm putting there. And because I got a lot of place above that, I thought I should try to make my own, Kanban board or something, because I've been thinking about adding that board maybe in my project journal or maybe making a separate collection with it. So the idea is to have, tabs and to write down a project name like a video name or maybe a story and article name on the sticky note, which will go from the idea to the filming. I named that filming, but I also meant drafting for writing, editing, and then posting. And posting includes everything about, including tags, including, descriptions, and all the stuff around it. And now I'm moving to my first weekly spread. Usually, I don't set up my month in advance, but I've noticed that in September and October I only used one spread for 1 week, and I did have some space left there. And so I decided to try and make the whole month in the same theme and do all the weeklies all together. And as I've decided to skip on the stamping part, I went back to my idea with having stickers as photo on the right side of the page. I counted down 5 centimeters or 10 points from both sides of the spread, and the left one is for my priority for the week. So these are tasks I'm planning to do, but it's not set on a specific day, or it is set on maybe a specific day, but I haven't started the list for that exact day, right? And the right hand side is not usually used, so this is the place where I put a lot of decorations usually. And if I don't, it feels quite empty, so I decided to put everything there for that month, and we'll see how it goes. And I also added one tracker on the left side because I had an issue with exercising, and so I decided to track only exercising for that month and make it my top priority. The weather is suitable for walking and training outside, so I just need to get a grip and do that. And I didn't plan for adding these lines with my pen, but it felt right to add some decorations, and I started with the right upper corner and added also a little bit on the left side lower corner, because this is also a place which is not always getting used. And although there is a chance that something changes in my life and I will need more than one spread for the week, honestly, if it happens, I can always add a tip in, or I can make a separate list for the day, or maybe for other plans, so I don't really worry about not getting it perfectly right. And now you can enjoy some music during a speed run of the last 3 weeks I had there. Here you can see how everything turned out and also a little bit of my previous month. And I enjoyed setting this up. It feels dreamy and it feels kinda in a place with the whole journal look. And then I've added pens to my pen pouch. And then I realized that my previous cycle is not yet finished. So the pens I removed at the beginning of that video, I had to put everything back. But with that, that's all my video. Thank you for watching. Bye.